Hi, my name is Yeli, and this is my first video vlog for the channel. And I thought that it would be a good start if I share my story with my weight throughout my life and how that brought me to where I am right now. So I was born a preemie, and back in the day, a fat baby was a healthy baby. So the doctor told my mom to put some drops in my bottle, whatever. So anyway, fast forward 2 months, and on my 2 months checkup, I'm overweight. And ever since, I've been overweight. I would say that I was a chubby child, not an obese child, but that weight kept on creeping in as I lived, ate, and continued growing. So by 6th grade, or maybe even 4th, 5th grade, I'm definitely an obese child. I wouldn't say that it was like huge obesity, but there was a degree there for sure. I am then a teenager, and I start doing diets. My mom is trying to help me lose weight. Her biggest concern, so let me also say this. I've never been the type of person that has had body image issues, even though I look at myself in the mirror and I would love for things to fit better. Like, my thing with weight is mostly about health and feeling well. So, but she was concerned that she kind of wanted me to lose weight before I went through puberty, because she had read that once you hit puberty, it was going to be like something very difficult to manage. So anyway, she thought to do that for me, and it did help. Like, I think that was the first time in my life where I was on target weight. It didn't last long, of course. I did, but it did get me through puberty, and then, you know, of course, I just kept on eating and kept on gaining weight. So fast forward to year 2005. At that time, like, by then, I've been told that there's something going on with how you know, the glucose tolerance curve and this and that. So, but it wasn't anything like a pre-diabetes diagnosis or anything, and I was eating sweets and eating whatever I wanted, of course. But then in 2005, I went sugar-free. With this, I don't mean that I went just on eating sugar-free stuff. I myself became sugar-free, so I just cut sweet stuff out of my life. I cut sugar out of my life, not carbs though. I kept on eating carbs, but I didn't even experiment with sugar-free stuff because they still messed up with my head the same way that sugary stuff did. So I couldn't control, like, I'm addicted to sweets, right? So, and most likely carbs as well. So anyway, and not all carbs, possibly, I don't know, but for sure it's harder for me to eat healthier if I'm eating certain types of carbs, especially sugar. So anyway, 2005, right? It was a few years, maybe until 2010. I'm still sugar-free. So it was like 5 whole years where I'm really not eating sugar. I wasn't really like losing much weight. I did lose some weight, but I didn't get into my target healthy weight that I wanted to. Losing weight was always more difficult for me, but at least I was healthier and my blood sugar was fine and all that was good. Then in 2010, I started my pregnancy with my daughter, which I was told that it was going to be very hard. My hormones were all over the place, such and such. So I was sugar-free for my whole pregnancy. I do want to say that at the end, I was starting to experiment with sugar-free stuff. And one of my doctor's biggest concern was gestational diabetes, which I didn't have because of course I was overweight. Not like I was afterwards, but I still was overweight. So I had to go in on antidepressants because I had postpartum depression, and it was like I couldn't get enough food. Like I was hungry all the time. I wanted to eat sugar all the time. The effect that those medicines caused in me was just crazy. So 40 or 50 pounds later, I'm like, I need to get off of these because there's just no way. So throughout complementary type of work, right, I weaned myself off of them. However, by the time I did that, I think I was already pre-diabetic. I don't quite remember exactly when I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic and diabetic. I'm sure if I look through it, I'll figure it out and find it. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but at least pre-diabetic in 2015, and I think diabetic in 2017. So it's 2023. So I've been diabetic for 5 years or more because I don't remember, but let's just say 5 years. And I've been trying to lose weight, but not focus necessarily on the weight, just on feeling better and lowering my sugar. So I stumbled upon keto. And I do want to say I did that last year, and for 3 months, I lost 30 pounds, which was a lot in 3 months, right? That was a lot of weight that I lost, and that worked great for me. But then came the holidays, and even though I wasn't eating sugar, I still ate things that had carbs in them. So after that, it was an on and off keto, on and off keto, on and off keto, until May, June, end of May, sometime in May, okay, so let me just say this before. I did lose 30 pounds on keto. However, I gained 10 back, then lost 5, then, so it was like an up and down until at some point I get sick in May, something with my stomach, and it was very hard for me to eat any type of healthy anything because I was just miserable. So I wasn't eating well, and my sugar just skyrocketed in my A1C, which, oh, that's another thing I didn't tell you. So my A1C before I started keto was 6.9. After 3 months of keto, it was 6.1, I want to say, or 6.3. It was below 6.5 for sure in just 3 months of keto. So you could tell. And like, I was testing my blood sugar when I woke up, and it was 97. So I was doing really great, and I was feeling great. Don't get me wrong, like, this is not me saying that keto doesn't work. I do feel it works. It just didn't necessarily work for me in terms of sustainability. It was very hard for me to continue doing keto. So anyway, I get sick in May 2023, and my sugar just blows up. And my sugar, like my A1C, was almost 8, if not 8, which scared me terribly. But it also makes sense that if you're sick for like a whole month, battling some stomach issues and eating the brat diet, right? Bread, I wasn't eating rice, but I was eating crackers and bananas, apples, certain things that are very high in carbs. So of course, I not only gained weight, but I also, like, my sugar just went over the roof. So anyway, blood sugar at A1C at 8. My blood sugar at some point went really, really high. Like, I tested one day and it was like 300 something, and my husband got worried, and he said, listen, if you continue this route, you might end up having to go into insulin, which was something that I really did not want to do. Anything but insulin. Like insulin, it was just like a cuss word for me. So yeah, insulin was just like a bad word for me. But I have not been out there researching medicines or researching weight loss like anybody else. I kind of saw commercials about Ozempic, but I didn't even quite understand how it worked, right? I just heard like possible side effects and stuff, and I was like, I'm not even gonna ask my doctor about it. It doesn't make sense. But I didn't know what they did either. So anyway, my husband is like, you need to go see a diabetes specialist, and he was able to get me in with a wonderful doctor that was not taking new patients, but he kind of knew her, so we were able to get an appointment. And I think right now that has been the best decision that I have made, because nothing better, like I love my primary care doctor, but there's nothing better than a doctor that specializes in the ailment that you have, right? Because they kind of have their blinders on, and they're just really focused on what it is that that you want them to help you with. Because, like, you know, primary care doctors know a lot about everything. But in this case, I'm glad. So this lady is not only an endocrinologist, but she's also a diabetes specialist, right? Which was wonderful. So I go to her, and like I said, I had no idea about medicines out there, anything. So she was like talking to me and, you know, asking me questions. And she said, listen, from what I'm seeing, I feel that there's two options that I can offer you. So she started explaining about Ozempic and about how it was like an injection that you had to put on your stomach. And those two words to me were like, oh no, there's no way that I am going to put a needle in my stomach. No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. So when she also, I'm thinking about it, right? I'm not telling her anything. But the one thing I knew is that I didn't want to go on insulin, right? So when she is talking to me, she continues and she says, and there's another one that it's been out for like a year. I've had the patient that I've had that's been on it the longest has been like a year or so, and it's yielding very good results. And she kind of explained to me, but I do have to say that I am not in the medical field, and those terms are very confusing to me. I get the idea, but I can't really translate it to you. So anyway, she explained that one, and she said that was like something, if you wanted to compare it to something similar to an EpiPen, where you have a gadget, you put it on your I was trying to see if I had one. So she explained to me that it was like a pen. Let me show you. I'm sure you've seen it out there. I'm not the first channel that's talking about this medicine. So anyway, it's like a pen, and you'll just press it onto your skin and press a button. And I was like, okay, that's something that I think I can do. I hate injections my whole life. I remember my grandmother, in order for me to be able to get the injection, she used to bribe me, and she would be like, you know what, I'll give you this or I'll give you that, and oh, there's something that you wanted, and I'll buy it for you. Just so that I would be able to go and take my injection without any issues, because I suffered a lot from strep, and the antibiotics were an injection. So, oh boy. Anyway, I'm not gonna go and get sidetracked, right? So let's get back to this. And I said, okay, I think I can try this. I knew nothing about these drugs. So I'm like, okay. And she tells me to get an appointment with a nutritionist, a diabetes educator. So there's this whole package thing. And then the other thing she said was that we wanted to monitor glucose, and because we don't know right now exactly how my body is processing the glucose. She has no idea on when it's higher, when it's lower, because I did finger prick, but not too regularly, and not enough for them to have any type of useful data, right? Sometimes I did it on keto to kind of test how the glucose, like how my body behaved in terms of sugar in relation to certain foods. So I would test before eating, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. But that was not really enough. That was not what she was looking for. So she said, well, listen, hey, let me also put you on one of these. And she went ahead and put one on my arm right there and then. She showed me what it was, showed me how to operate it. And I saw that little needle, little as it was, I was like, oh, here comes a needle. And I thought it was gonna hurt, but guess what? I did not even feel it. Nothing. When I was like, okay, that's it. And I was like, what, that's it? I didn't even feel it. So I do have my continuous glucose monitor and I love it. I love it because it is a self-awareness tool. It is a tool that helps me see exactly how my body reacts to what I put in it. It helps me see everything, like if I walk, if I don't walk, what happens. And that is, to me, very valuable because I cannot lie to myself, right? I can't tell myself, oh, that's going to be fine, it's not a problem, which was what I kind of would do, and I wouldn't just finger prick just to not know what was happening in reaction to what I was eating. But with this thing, you totally see what it is going on. So anyway, I booked my appointment with the diabetes educator about the time that I had and the availabilities they had. So my appointment is 2 weeks later. So I went to my doctor on a Thursday and 2 weeks later on a Thursday, I had my second appointment with my doctor. And I also had my diabetes educator and nutritionist appointment on a Thursday. So anyway, I'm like, okay. So she tells me, she shows me how to inject Mounjaro. She does not do it right there and then because she did tell me a few things. She said, first, make sure it doesn't get frozen. If it freezes, it's gonna damage. Keep it in the fridge, but it can live out of the fridge. And I don't remember how much she said, but I think it was like 14 days or so. So it's fine. You take it, get home, put it in the fridge. However, I do suggest, because a lot of patients tell me that it's much better when they take it out of the fridge a few hours before injecting, because when it's too cold, they tell me that they feel it burns a little bit. When they wait for it to reach room temperature and warm up a little bit, they don't feel that it stings. So, okay. Then, of course, as soon as I get home, I start Googling and going online, and I start seeing everything about this medicine. So then I start seeing so much about weight loss, a lot of focus on weight loss, and I couldn't find a channel of anybody that would talk about weight loss and sugar. Like I found a lot of people that were doing this to lose weight so that they wouldn't become diabetics, but I couldn't find somebody that was already like me, diabetic with excess weight, obese, right? And morbidly obese, if anything, that wanted to just get better. And like I said again, like my focus, my primary focus with this medicine is managing my sugar. I know that I'm losing weight, and I'm happy about that because I feel better, my body functions better, but that's not my focus. And I can't put the focus there because what happened to me when I saw all those videos, my mind went crazy. And in my mind, it was like, oh boy, so I have this medicine and then what? Can I eat everything I want, whatever I want, and then I'm just gonna lose weight anyway? Because that's how my mind works, right? If it wouldn't work that way, I wouldn't have the weight that I have. So as much as I try to eat healthy, my mind sometimes takes over and I just don't make the best choice in food that I can make. I do have to say that I'm pretty good at staying away from sweets, but not necessarily from carbs, okay? So I'm researching a lot, looking at channels, and I will post a video on my research right after this one to kind of take you guys through the process. And I did vlog my first few days when it happened in real time, because right now I've been on Mounjaro for a full week already. Yeah, because what day is today? So I'm going to tell you. So I've been on Mounjaro for 10 days. I've had my second dose already, but I felt that an introduction video explaining like my whole process was important to put out there, just in case you're like me. So the first thing I do want to say, this is a miracle drug, but it's not a miracle drug in the sense that I'm going to eat whatever I want and still see that my sugar is going to be fine and lose weight, because I have to put work into it as well. If I do not limit the amount of carbs that I'm taking in a day, I'm just going to make the drug do all the work. And I'm not going to be lowering my blood sugar, right? I'm just going to keep on living and being stable, continuing as I am, which is not good, because I know if I continue this path, there's a lot of side effects and a lot of repercussions from being diabetic for a certain amount of time, right? Weight loss, neuropathy, whatever. I'm not going to go into all of them, because I'm sure if you have diabetes, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't have diabetes, maybe you're not interested in me going in full detail about these things. So anyway, I will make a video with the research and everything that I found out before, because from Thursday, listen, I'm a person that wants to control my sugar. Of course, if I lose weight, I'm going to be super happy about it, even though that was not my initial intention when I went to the doctor, and I didn't even know that this is what these things did. But when I started researching and hearing about it, of course I wanted to inject that same day, but I also wanted to take pause, calm myself down, meditate, and focus on my recovery in terms of my sugar and not my weight. So I didn't go like crazy, inject the same day. I researched a lot, possible side effects, what I needed to do, best time of the day to inject it for me before going ahead and doing it. And also, I don't love injections, so that kind of helped me delay the process a little bit. So then on Monday, I took my first dose. I do have to say that it stung. It didn't really hurt. I did feel the pinch and it stung, but it wasn't anything that I would say hurt, right? It hurt less than a flu shot. My second injection, though, didn't hurt at all, and it didn't sting either. But then I'll go into the vlogs, and my idea is to do weekly vlogs and then post a video about my research or anything that I kind of found out. I'll also post a video kind of letting you guys know what my nutritionist told me, because I couldn't find any of these things out there. So yeah, welcome to my channel. I'm really, really happy that you're here, and I hope that this is, so let me just say this. Why am I doing this right before I kind of close this video? Because that was where I was going. But I am doing this because I think it's going to help me, one, with accountability. Two, it can help somebody out there that is going through the same thing that I'm going, and it's not just only focused on weight loss, but also wants to get healthier and put diabetes in remission, or control diabetes, like my diabetes educator said. So those are my motivators. So if I'm going public and doing this with you guys, it's not because I love putting myself out there with all the insecurities that being overweight have brought into my life. It is because I am hoping that this helps somebody else while helping me as well. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close this video. I'm going to thank you guys so much for watching, for joining, encouraging you guys to subscribe to this channel. If anything, it's just going to give me, it's going to help me, right? The incentive and the accountability. I can't talk today. So yeah, just do that. And yeah, if you were curious about my journey, of course, subscribe and turn on the bell notification button so that anytime I upload a video, you'll get the notification and you can completely follow this journey with me. So anyway, I also love replying to comments, and leave me a comment, because I would also love to build a community. I feel that support is very important. And the wonderful thing about the internet, YouTube, and all these things that can be very harmful, they can also be very wonderful, and they can create a community of people, and we can support each other no matter where we are. So I think that that is also a very powerful thing that we can do. Okay, so now take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and bye guys.